Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everyone doing this evening? Getting ready to get started. We got actually 1 minute before we get started. Nope, it is now 6 o'clock. So we are now getting started with our live streaming show. As always, just checking the system, making sure that everything's working. We are supposed to have a guest speaker today. Hopefully, Howard shows up. If not, the show will go on as planned. Let me just double check. Supposed to have a guest. Okay, very good. Sound's doing good. Everybody can hear me. We are live. Very, very good. Everybody, good evening. This is Online Real Estate School. I am Warren Nelson, and this is the quickest hour in real estate. This show is brought to you every week as an introduction to real estate classes. Many of you are searching for a real estate school and not sure which direction you want to take. So as an assistance to your research, I do this live streaming show every Monday at 6 p.m. to introduce the students to what they're going to be experiencing in a classroom and what they're going to be experiencing after they pass their state exam. And so we have our guest speaker here. Howard will be joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, it's nice every now and then I bring a guest speaker on to the show. And Howard Ashton is one of my students, ladies and gentlemen. He went through the class. He now passed the state exam, and now he is a licensed real estate professional. And we're going to talk to Howard and see his journey so that you, ladies and gentlemen, can understand the journey that you're going to be taking, starting from going into the classroom to starting a real live business in the real estate arena. Howard, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, Warren. How about yourself?
Doing very, very good. I want to thank you for taking the time to be a guest speaker on my show. Welcome, and I'm very, very happy to have you on the show, sir.
Happy to be here.
Very good. So, yeah, your journey is taking you down different directions now, isn't it? From the classroom to where you are now. Tell me, how did you find the experience of a live streaming classroom? How did that work for you?
So the live streaming class worked very well. I mean, having you with the instruction, having it remote, also, having the book and the textbook there, and the way you reference both, it worked out very well. It was easy and accommodating. It allowed me to make it to the class where I otherwise wouldn't have been able to. I mean, my work schedule would have made it difficult for me to commute to a classroom after work with the time requirements from the state.
And where you're located, is there a school close to you?
I don't believe so. No, there's probably one a half hour, 45 minutes away, but that's time I wouldn't have had. So
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, and so that's a deterrent for a lot of folks who want to start a real estate class, but the time, a local school, and so forth, it doesn't register with a lot of people, the drive time, the gas, and so forth. So the live streaming platform that we developed really works out well, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see with me and Howard, you get to see me, talk to me, ask me questions, just as if you were sitting in the classroom. Howard, was you in my evening class?
Yeah. It was the evening class.
So the evening class, ladies and gentlemen, is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And since it's only a 4-hour class with a half-hour break, 3.5, your brain doesn't get fried. You get a chance to really absorb the knowledge. Howard, you did really well on test scores. You excelled. So you really applied and you really did well. And you aced the state exam. Tell the audience a little bit about the state exam. What did it can expect? Did you take it proctored or did you go in person?
I went in person. Yeah. So there's a testing center in, I believe it's Bristol in Pennsylvania, and about 45 minutes from me. I've taken the test before. I took it 5 or 6 years ago twice and didn't pass it both times. So I was kind of familiar vaguely with the testing, but when you go in, you basically, you find the building, which depending on where you're at, it varies on how easy that is. But, I was able to pretty much figure out where I had to go. Once you go in, you have to, leave your cell phone, any kind of devices you have. There's a bag that you put them all in. I do believe I was able to keep mine with me, but you're under surveillance when you're taking the exam. So it's not like you'd be able to pull out your phone or pull out a notebook and start looking at things. And you're just it's a, very quiet. You're almost in like little cubicles with a computer. It seems like these computers are like specifically designed for the test. It's not like you're just on a normal PC. And you go in, you get a few practice questions. It kind of runs you through, I think, 5 different kind of practice test questions just to show you how to actually answer them. And how to move back and forth and check your answers and things like that. And then you start. I believe you type in your name to kind of work as an e-signature that it's you taking the test. You have to click that you agree that it's actually you, and all that. And then the exam, they try to trip you up. I'm not a genius, but I don't consider myself a dummy either. And I've always been a decent test taker, even if I didn't really know the info sometimes. But some of these tests are designed with like people like me in mind. Like if you don't know that stuff, there's just no way. The questions can be very similar and somewhat confusing if you don't know the information very well. But it's doable. I mean, I passed it relatively quickly. I came out of your class and having a pretty good grasp on the information. And I'm not the kind of guy who's going to spend hours after a class going back through and studying. I'll study, but I try to pick up what I can in the actual instruction, and it worked out well. And yeah, but even with that, I mean, I got quite a few. I got a few wrong, and they try to trip you up for sure.
And that's what I always warn the students, that the exam's not hard, it's tricky. Why is it tricky? Because life is tricky. And so it could have 2 answers. And so the exam kind of developed around that trickiness, so that it's designed that way because life is that. Do they still have the big clock that ticks down? And is that distracting?
Yeah. Yep. You can see how much time you have left, which I'm sure, if you're the kind of person who you kind of tend to overthink things a little bit, you're going to have to figure out a way to block that out, because you do see the seconds. It doesn't make any noise, but you can see it up there pretty plainly.
It does. It grabs your attention. It kind of distracts you a little bit, and they mix it both together. So the state and the national, which we call practice and fundamentals in the classroom, they call it state and national and exam. So they mix them together. They're not separate, correct?
Yeah. It was all just one. I believe it was 100 questions. I could be off, but yeah, it was a decent amount of questions, and you have to sit there and go through all of them. So you want to try to do your best to keep the stress levels down.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot take the state exam unless you have your transcripts from a school that says you took your 75 hours. And once you have your transcripts from a school that says you had done your 75-hour class, now you are qualified to take the exam. Because it's how we're going to tell you, not everybody's going to be able to pass this state exam, ladies and gentlemen. So it's very important that you have the right schooling. You will see some of these real estate schools out there that are a 3-week program or an online program. That's not for everybody. The 3-week program is really just a prep course to prep you to pass the exam. But as we said many times on this show, ladies and gentlemen, this class is not only designed to prep you to pass the exam, but we're also going to teach you how to run a real estate business, and we're going to teach you how to invest in property. Now, Howard, now that you are a licensed real estate professional, congratulations to you, Agent Ashton. And so now that you're a real estate professional, are you starting to realize some of the principles that you learned in class are now actually starting to apply to your real estate business?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, the state requirements are a big portion of what you do, as an agent. I mean, yeah, they're going to apply in the way you answer questions and in the steps of the process, and the way you conduct yourself with clients. I mean, it's all intertwined, really. You can't do the one without having the knowledge. You can't represent people and actually do the job if you don't have a pretty good understanding of that knowledge. Doesn't mean everybody does, but having an understanding of that knowledge will, make things a lot easier for you and a lot less stressful. There's a pressure enough when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line in a contract or a big commission. Knowing what's expected of you is knowing that will make it a lot easier and less stressful.
And once you become a licensed real estate professional, everybody's going to be asking you questions. Howard, can you do what about this? And can you do this? Can you do that? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, once you are licensed and everybody knows that you're a licensed professional, they will be coming to you for guidance and counseling and stuff like that. And so things that you just have to get used to in the real estate business. So you're just starting out in the real estate business now, and you are getting after your first customers, your first clients, buyers and sellers. And so you've been active now 3 weeks?
Yeah, about 3 weeks. You know, I have a couple people I'm talking to. I haven't closed any deals yet. Haven't really gotten to that point, but yeah, I mean, even then, it's, you know, people know I'm an agent now. And like you said, you'll get kind of off the cuff questions. I just know from having a sales background, that's sometimes where your deals start. It's just an off question, you know, just, hey, okay, they might have asked 15 people. They couldn't get an answer. They got one from you, and that kind of stays in the back of their mind. You never know. So.
And you're 100% right. We notice in the sales business that a question leads to a deal, leads to a client. And so if you're able to answer the questions that people have, then they're going to feel more comfortable working with you because you're already segueing into a relationship simply by asking questions or answering those questions. And so we teach this in the classroom, and we teach about having your answers prepped and ready, because you will kind of get the same questions after a while. And so after a while, you'll start learning how to answer those questions in a way that's going to be positive and productive. The other thing is confidence, because a lot of people don't feel confident even after passing the exam. With this class, ladies and gentlemen, Online Real Estate School, you are always welcome to come back to the class free of charge over and over again to take the lessons again and again, so that you can build up your confidence. No other school offers this. And so I'm proud of that we are the only school, and I believe that we are the only school that allows you to come back to the class again and again and again, even after you have paid for the class, just to build up your confidence. Did you take advantage of that, Howard? Did you come back to the class after you passed the exam?
Yeah, I actually, before I took the exam, I kind of dropped in on a few of the classes, you know, just to kind of help jog my memory. So yeah, it's helpful. But yeah, the way you go over things, you know, if you're paying attention, like this is actually something I want to do. You know, if you're doing it for above and beyond for the sake of doing it, if you actually want to apply this stuff in the future, the way you do it is helpful. It definitely helps things stick. So yeah.
And anybody that's on my show right now watching the free show, they're here because they want to do real estate. They want to take the class. And this is the reason that I really like teaching this class, is because that the students in my class want to be in my class. There's a lot of schools where the student doesn't want to be in class, and they're not going to be learning when they don't want to be there. So fortunately, folks are making an investment here in themselves and in their future. And so that really gives me a nice round of students to work with, because they want to learn real estate. Now, in this class, we take you right into the contracts. So we teach you the chapters and how they apply to the contracts in the real estate business. And then I run ISS Realty, which is a brokerage where I take new agents right out of class and put them into the field teaching real estate. And that's where you are now, Howard. You're in your second stage, getting into the field now, learning. So check out Howard Ashton's social media, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be seeing his posts very, very soon. You're going to be seeing a lot of Howard in the near future, especially if you are in the Bucks County area. Then you might as well get used to Howard Ashton. He's going to be an up-and-coming star in that area. If I have anything to say about it, you will see him all over the Bucks County area, especially in certain areas. I haven't figured out what area you're going to say focused in, but you definitely will be in Bucks County, yes?
Yeah, we're scouting it out now. There's definitely a lot of opportunity in the Philadelphia and surrounding counties. So yeah, a lot of homes going up.
Yes, and it's not going to be a slow winter. I predict we're going to have a very active real estate market, a very active winter. I thought with the inflation and the economy going the way it was going, that we would probably have a slowdown this winter. But from all barometers and indicators that I'm having, consumer confidence confidence is still up there. Yes, prices are higher. Yes, interest rates are climbing, but people are still buying and consumer confidence is good. So I'm not expecting a slow winter. I'm actually expecting a very active winter. Right about now, Howard, a lot of agents will start packing their bags and they're going to be calling it a day. For November, December, and sometimes even into January, you got a lot of agents that hibernate. They go into hibernation. They figure, well, there's nothing happening November, December, and January. Again, as I teach in this business, you got to know your market. The investors are out November, December, and January. So if you're working with investors, then you're going to be very active in the wintertime. If you're working with first-time buyers, you're going to be very active for that income tax return. So a lot of agents don't realize that January, February, and March is their main advertising time of the year that help them through the whole year with their clients. And so this is the things that we teach here in the real estate business, in the class, and in the field. And so when the students take this class, they're going to be getting much more than a prep. They're going to learn how to run a real estate business. They're going to learn how to invest in property. They're going to learn the easy way of doing math. And we're also teaching memory techniques. And that's another thing in the class, the homework assignments that we give you. Did that help you in any way, Howard, to master the exam and pass that exam?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were some of the questions were actually pretty similar to the questions you take on the exam. So it was definitely helpful. Yeah.
And so we're the only school that does that too, ladies and gentlemen, homework assignments. And so again, everything that we do here in the classroom is designed to better you and make you not only pass the exam, but make you a good real estate agent when you get out there into the field. And so that's what we're dealing with now. This morning, we have our Monday. Monday's a big day in the real estate business, ladies and gentlemen, so you might as well get used to it. If you hate Mondays, you might as well really hate them, because on Mondays is the big day in the real estate business. And it doesn't stop from early morning till right now, nonstop. And so Howard was at our meeting this morning, or sales meeting, and asked Howard if he would be a guest speaker on the show. And Howard said, yes, he would. And that tells you, ladies and gentlemen, that if you're willing to take risks, you're willing to take chances, you're willing to do something that you've never done before, even if you're not comfortable, wait till you see the windows and the doors that will open for you down the line. And so this is Howard's first live streaming show, I bet. And so
Yeah.
First guest speaker. And so now Howard will be an influencer very, very soon, because he's been a guest speaker on different shows, and that'll take him down a different path. You never know where these live streaming events will take you in this event. So very, very good. All right, very good. So took me 3 minutes. I had 3 minutes to get the show started. It's pouring out. I was driving. I got stuck in traffic. I just turned the screen on, and little tiny vertigo here going on. So we'll work through it. But yeah, it's the first time I had an attack in about 3 weeks. I've been doing pretty good. And so just before the show starts, I have one of figures, So
Yeah, it's the timing.
It's just the way it works, But in any event, I'm used to it by now. I just work through it. It just makes my eyes a little squinty sometimes because of the attacks. But it's part of the show right now. I've had so many during the shows that it's part of the show as this stage goes. So I got one more show and one more class, ladies and gentlemen. So my last class is October 25th. That'll be the last class of the year, October 25th. We have a morning class and an evening class. We have the morning class, which is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, live streaming. So if you have Zoom on your phone, Zoom on your computer, Zoom on your laptop or your desktop, then you can be in the classroom. So our last class for 2022 is we're in 2022. All right. So the last class will be October 25th. Morning class is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the evening class is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Live streaming, you don't have to worry about driving, parking, gas, traffic, or any of that, ladies and gentlemen. And it's from the comfort of your own home or wherever you are, you can be in the classroom. So online real estate school, we've been around a lot. We've been around for a while, ladies and gentlemen, and we just opened up our newest location in Pittsburgh on 4th Avenue. So you'll be seeing our new location, and hopefully next year we will have a couple more locations. But again, the years go quickly, and our last class for 2022 is October 25th. So we got about a week, a little over a week, ladies and gentlemen, to sign up for the last class, which is selling out quickly because it is the last class of the year. So again, jump onto the bandwagon. If you want to get that real estate license and you want to have an active 2023, then this would probably be the route that you want to go, ladies and gentlemen. As you understand, with the prices going up, you're going to need extra income coming in. So if you have to work a second job, if you want to quit your job and start something else, real estate is the route that you would most likely want to go, ladies and gentlemen. The most money you're probably ever going to make is in commission. And in the real estate commission is going to be big commission. Your average commission check should be around $5,000. And so it depends on how many of them you want to do. And that is your average commission check. You can actually make a lot more than that. But I always like to go low, give everybody reasonable and realistic expectations. $5,000 commission check should be, when you split your commission check with the other agent, we'll talk about it, should be walking away with a minimum $5,000. And once I get you into the $400,000 price range, now it's a different story. And so you have to work less. You don't have to work as hard when you work with the bigger properties. And so that'll be you, Howard. You're going to be probably in the $300,000 price range on average when your market. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, the market, it really depends on the town. I mean, where we're at right now, the average is probably, there's a few floating around in their 3 to 4s, and a lot of them are 5, 6 and above. The average is probably 300,000 to 400,000 though, maybe a little more depending on, Bristol, Ben Salem, 300,000 to 400,000, and then Central Bucks County is probably like 5, 6 and above. So yeah, there's a lot of potential. I mean, they're building $800,000 homes all over the place around here.
And I always say, if you're going to be a real estate investor, ladies and gentlemen, you want to go where new construction is taking place. All right. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, Kensington is actually better than Northeast Philly because there's no new construction taking place in Northeast Philly compared to Kensington and North Philadelphia. You have a lot of new development taking place, and you're watching prices for property skyrocket around development. So since you have a lot of development in Bucks County where you're at, that is going to go in conformity with the rest of the properties. The rest of the properties are going to be going up in value. Now, don't worry about interest rates, ladies and gentlemen, and don't worry about inflation, because even if you are paying a higher interest rate for your property now, when the tide turns and interest rates drop again, you will have a lot of equity in the property and you will be able to refinance and take that money out later. So you'll be happy that you bought the higher interest rate now down the line when you get the refinance when interest rates drop. When you already buy low at a 2, 3, 4%, yes, you got an affordable mortgage, but there's not a whole lot of refinancing opportunity for about 5, 6, 7 years. But when you buy at a higher interest rate, we could have a turnaround in the next presidential administration. You never know how the administrations go, but you will always see the ebb and flow. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. Interest rates go up, interest rates come down. And when those interest rates are coming back down again, that's when you're going to really benefit and be glad that you bought at 7, 8, 10. Back when I started, Howard, interest rates were 18 to 22%. All right. And so we'll be seeing kind of a repeat of that because that was the Carter administration. And I'm hearing about the peanut farmers again. I haven't heard about the peanut farmers since the Carter administration, but apparently this administration is helping the peanut farmers out. And so that's supposed to be a big thing. But isn't that reminiscent of where we are through the Carter administration? We are back, literally, even with the peanut farmers, back to where we were. And so history is repeating itself, ladies and gentlemen. But we now know after the Carter administration how good things got after the Carter administration. And we've been on a good roll for many, many, many moons since then. And now we're taking that upswing again. Not quite sure what this administration is planning on doing. Not even quite sure if it's American and for this country, but in any event, presidents come and go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to get into the politics, but you all have to understand, we will be under federal, state, and local laws in the real estate business. So presidents come and go, whether you love them or hate them, they will have an effect on your real estate business. So in the classroom, we have to talk about real estate practice and real estate fundamentals. Real estate fundamentals deals with the law, federal law, state law, local law, fair housing law, contract law, agency law, American Disability Act. So all these things that you will learn in the real estate business in the class will apply to your real estate business, but these laws change with different administrations. The tax codes change with different administration. And this is the reason that we have to do a continuing education every 2 years to keep our real estate license. That continuing education makes sure that we're aware of the administrative changes that each administration, each government does. And so keep these things in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that real estate fundamentals deals with the law. Real estate practice deals with where Howard is now, taking the client out to see the property, helping them with the contract, helping them from all the steps from the beginning to the end to get to the settlement table. So real estate practice deals with you running a real estate business, how to understand the contract, how to explain the contract, how to explain it to your client, how to understand the numbers. So the Real Estate Commission requires this 75-hour class of real estate practice and real estate fundamentals so that you know how to run a real estate business, because that's what you're going to be, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be an independent contractor. Now, Howard, you were in sales. You've been in sales. Have you been an independent contractor in your last sale, or was you an employee?
No, I was an employee. Yeah.
You're an employee. Have you been independent contractor before?
I've not.
All right. See, independent contractors, if you're a Lyft driver, if you're an Uber driver, you're an independent contractor, ladies and gentlemen, because you're running your own business as a Lyft driver or an Uber driver. They don't take taxes out. You'll have to pay your own taxes at the end of the year. Lyft and Uber doesn't prep their drivers for this situation. And so when a new driver starts with Lyft or Uber and they get their tax return at the end of the year, because you're going to get a 1099 from Lyft and Uber of all the money you made, now you're responsible for paying your own taxes. And so a lot of independent contractors were not prepared for that, especially when they just start out. So we teach you in the classroom how to put your money aside to pay your taxes, to make sure that you understand that you're going to be an independent contractor. You're going to be running your own business here, ladies and gentlemen. And since you're running your own business, you will be responsible for your taxes. So that's something that you're going to be getting used to now, Howard, making sure that you're doing your books, keeping sunny, all your expenses, ladies and gentlemen, your gas, your mileage, your flyers, all of these things are under a different tax code. We are still under the Trump administration's budget. The Biden administration has not put their budget together yet. They're too busy passing other bills that will pass other things. And so when you hear about government shutdown or the threat of government shutdown, that's the budget. And so if we can't come to terms with the budget, we may have a government shutdown. So you always know when we're talking about the budget for the next 2 to 4 years, and that's going to be changing. And so when that changes, you need to apply these changes to your real estate business. How's it going to affect your taxes? How's it going to affect your deductions and so forth? So once you're in business, ladies and gentlemen, things change and you have to be a little bit more knowledgeable about the business, and you're going to change your media. So I understand that the Eagles are 6-0. I understand that the Phillies are doing really, really good, and that's all good. But you're going to now have to start incorporating some business news. Where's the stock market? Where's the bond market? Where's the consumer confidence? Now you're going to need to start incorporating these things into your business, because you're going to be running a business here, ladies and gentlemen. So, Howard, what are you planning on doing? Are you going to be working with buyers? Going to be working with sellers? You're going to be working with both of them? You're going to start out? How do you want to start out?
Yeah, I'd imagine I'm going to start out, I guess, with a focus on buyers. But I mean, I'm not going to limit the type of client I would take. If I can find somebody who's looking to sell their property, and they want to let me represent them, I'm going to do that as well. I think, being new and, what you had talked about, being a buyer agent in the beginning, it might be a little more legwork, might be a little more work, sometimes a little more disappointment perhaps. But it's a good way to kind of get your feet wet and kind of learn what you're doing. But hey, I wouldn't turn down if I have a friend or a family member, somebody, or I find a lead that is looking to sell a property, I'll definitely take advantage of that. But yeah, probably start with more buying.
I always recommend that you work with those first-time buyers when you first start out. Now, again, as I said, there are different avenues. Also, remember the seasonality of it. Right now is a great time to be working with buyers. October, November, December. Working with sellers at this time, you get a lot of days on the market because you don't have a lot of buyers out during October, November, December. And this is why I encourage my buyers to buy during October, November, December, because there's less competition. So they don't have to worry about multiple offers on the property. So my buyers, I really season my buyers to understand that November, December, and January is really the best time of the year to be buying property because the sellers are much more negotiable in November, December, and January. But once the spring market comes, the sellers aren't flexible because they know they got more demand, more buyers in the spring market. So if you're a buyer, buying in November, December, January is prime time as a buyer to buy because you're going to get the best deal and the best negotiations in those months where most people will be hibernating, wouldn't even think about going out in November, December, January to look at properties. They again would be missing a boat because they wait to the spring market. Now they're competing with many more buyers for the same property. So I always tell the seasonality of this business, November, December, January is a great time to be working with buyers. I like working with the sellers starting in January, February, March. I really go heavy with the sellers because we'll have that spring market coming in and less days on the market. When you're representing the seller, we want to get that property sold as quickly and listed the right way, because if it sits on the market too long, it actually brings the value of the property down in negotiation. So you have to understand the seasonality of your business, and working with buyers right now for the next couple of months would be primo. And then once you learn your business, you will have your season. Most agents, you won't see, they're packed up. They're already hibernating. They already figured November, December, January, nothing's happening. And I know agents that right now, they're going to be going to Florida. I know a couple of agents who go right to Cancun, and they have a license there as well. So they follow the seasonality of it, and they like to be in the warm climates. And so when it gets cold, some of the agents, they don't like the cold weather at all. They don't like snow, the ice, and anything. So they'll hibernate and they'll go to Florida, sell properties in Florida because they're licensed there, Cancun, Arizona. So I know a lot of agents that will be year round, but they like to be year round in a warmer climate. And so you'll figure it out as you go along. You're still a young guy, Howard, so the cold weather ain't going to bother you for a long time to come, fortunately. But now that's another interesting thing that we talk about in the real estate business, the demographics. Those who have owned their property for 13 years, those who've owned their property for 23 years, those who are most likely to sell, those who are most likely to retire. And so knowing the demographics and knowing which market to target, like first-time buyers, is different than your move-up buyers. The move-up buyers have 3, 4 children. They're looking for the best school system. So the move-up buyers are different than the first-time buyers. And like Howard said, ladies and gentlemen, working with the buyers is very, very nice. We do a lot of shopping. We go out, we look at properties, we're window shopping. What do you think? Isn't this beautiful? And it's very calm. It's very, very, very feng shui working with the buyer. Yes, there could be disappointments if the home inspection doesn't work out, if we don't get the mortgage. These things could happen in the real estate business. But working with the seller is a little bit different, especially when they have a mortgage payment and another mortgage payment and another mortgage payment. And so there's 2 different train of thoughts, working with a buyer, working with a seller. So when you're a brand new agent just starting out, I really encourage you to start working with those first-time buyers. Learn your art, your success, your system of selling real estate, starting with first-time buyers. And first-time buyers, they don't care that you're a brand new agent. They don't care that you've been licensed a day, a week, a month, a year. It's their first experience buying a property. So they're going to rely on you very heavily. And this is going to polish your game and get you very much experienced in representing your buyers and sellers, starting with those first-time buyers. So that's always my recommendation, but you are in a market where it would be silly to exclude those sellers at any time in the market, especially with all the new development. So again, as I said, you are in prime location, prime real estate location. It is a smart play for you to be getting your real estate license, to be in that market, and you won't have to work as hard as my agents in Philadelphia. My agents in Philadelphia are working with the $1, $2, and $300,000 property, but you're going to be working with the $5, $6, $7, $800,000 property. So for every 2 properties we have to sell in Philadelphia, you only have to sell 1 for the same commission in the same amount of time. And it is different though in the counties, because sometimes you don't have public water, you don't have public sewer, and so you have to do septic system inspection and well water inspection. Now, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, well water, because a lot of people don't understand what I mean when I say well water. They think there's a bucket on a rope and you put the bucket down the well and you bring it back up. That's not what well water is, ladies and gentlemen. Well water is a baked concrete tank that's in the base and in the ground underneath the property, and it has thousands of gallons of water that will supply you for the whole year. So every time you turn on your shower, every time you flush the toilet, there's a well for all your water. And then next to that system is a septic tank. We have public sewer, so we're used to our sewer system, everything going into the municipal sewer system. But in the township, it's not always municipal. So sometimes you're going to have a septic tank underneath the ground and a well underneath the ground. And when we sell properties in the counties, we have to do inspection for the water and for the septic system. And sometimes we could be limited to the contractors that we can use to do this work. Sometimes the township will force us to use township inspectors. Each is different. Conshohocken is different than Warminster, per se. Warminster is tough. So you've got to use the Warminster inspectors when you're in Warminster. So it's different as you go along. So good, Howard, I'm looking forward to you, my friend, becoming very, very successful. I know you're now coach now, huh? So how is that working out for you? Learning how to use websites, learning how to use the social media, learning how to do artwork. That's a you, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a learning curve. You know, I'm 36, so I'm kind of in between people that were born with it and the people that have no idea how to use any of it. I'm kind of right stuck in the middle. So I can learn it, but I go into it pretty cold. You know, fortunately, you know, we have some other agents at Is Realty that have been helping out a lot. They're real kind of type A and they're very knowledgeable. And it's you know, having somebody you can ask questions to is a big part of anything in life, and it can accelerate your ability to learn something. So, yeah, I mean, just having a quick conversation today with Lismol, you know, I was able to pretty much tidy up and almost pretty much I'm ready to publish my my landing page now. And I've actually working on a few Facebook posts today. I'm hoping to have them tidied up and in your inbox by tomorrow. And I'm moving into it. I mean, there is a lot of opportunity out there. There's an absolute ton of it. And yeah, I mean, real estate seems like it's, you know, it'd be crazy not to go this way. You know, I sold cars for a long time. And if you've been to a car dealership right now, if it's a quality brand, they probably don't have anything on their lot. You know, there's always going to be people looking to buy houses, and there's always going to be houses for sale, you know, and the upside potential, the amount of money you can stand to make is substantial. And you're ultimately your own boss, which, you know, has its own pressure, but also has its own freedom. So it's nice.
And 2 things that people will always need: food and shelter. So you got a product, real estate, that's never going to go out of style. We have historical properties 200 years old that are still selling today. So product that's never going to go out of style. And in the real estate business, I've been looking, there's always a leader. We always have a leader. Lismol is now the gravitational leader. People just seem to like to go to one individual for help, and Lismol will be a big name one day in the real estate business. He'll have a big real estate business because he's already a leader. He's already an instructor. He's already a teacher. And so my agents are already gravitating to just one other agent. And it's just the way it is. When you're a natural born leader, people will just go to you and you'll feel comfortable around. So Lismol's got a lot of experience with the computers, with the websites, the landing pages, and he's been a big help to everybody. And so he's already helped you out with some of your technical stuff that you're going to be putting in, because I'm looking for a couple posts from you this week to approve. to get you up and get some eyeballs so people will know that Howard Ashton is now the newest real estate agent in Bucks County. And it's nice to work with somebody who's new, somebody who's just starting out, because you're going to get a lot more attention this way. So if you're a client and you're looking for an agent that is going to give you that special attention that you need, then you really are working with a new agent, because that agent's going to give you their undivided attention. But when you're working with a seasoned pro who has many clients that they're working with, you'll feel the difference between a much more personalized, hands-on approach with a new agent compared to a seasoned agent that can only make a phone call here and there to you. And that's the most contact that you'll have with the seasoned agent. And so that's the way it goes. One day we'll all be so busy that we'll be seasoned agent and we won't be able to dedicate the time that we have now. So now, ladies and gentlemen, is the time. Thinking about becoming a real estate agent, stop putting it off. The one thing, actually two things, that we entrepreneurs are not good at. We're not good at helping ourselves. We're good at helping other people, but we're not real good at helping ourselves with our own problems. And the second flaw that we have is we're procrastinators. We wait and put it off and put it off and put it off until someday it finally happens. This is what I'm trying to say to everybody. Don't keep putting it off, ladies and gentlemen. Get that real estate license. Buy the clothes you always wanted to buy. Buy the car you always wanted to buy. Make the money you always wanted to make. And if you can't make it in real estate, then I don't know if it's possible if you can make it. You can't help, especially in the market that we're in today. You don't even have to leave the house to make money in the real estate business. And this is what I'm teaching my agents. Once they get their social media down, once they get their website down, once they get their 800 numbers and get everything in place, everything will be working like a autopilot, auto system. Everything works. And now, basically, you just need to contact those who are reaching out and asking for help, asking for assistance in real estate matters. And that's what we do right now, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the time. I have one last class remaining. And so onlinerealestateschool.com, as you can see right behind me, ladies and gentlemen, onlinerealestatesschoolinc.com. Go right to the website. Go to my landing page. You're here in my free class. I actually think I only have one more free class coming up this year. And I think that'll be next week, because my last class is October 25th. I won't have another class until February of next year. So keep in mind that this is the last class for this year, ladies and gentlemen. So if you like to, you're here in my free class, then that means you're taking the time to educate yourself, to do a little bit of research. And I would recommend, Howard, would you recommend the school? Would you recommend the class?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I've taken the class before. I've not your class, but I've taken real estate classes before. It is way, way better with you. It's way smoother. You do tend to learn it better. Having the Zoom is a huge convenience, but even above and beyond that, if I had to, I would want to go with you, even if the state made it be in a location. Doing it with you is a way to do it. You really, your stuff, and you do a good job of explaining it in a way to people that aren't familiar with it already. You make it so you can remember. You give examples and analogies, and it's helpful. So yeah.
I try to make sure that I don't deprive the students of the education that they're paying for. And so when they're in my class, I want to make sure that they're getting every analogy that I can offer them, every example, every court case, even try to throw a little humor in there every now and then to try to liven it up if I can. But yes, when I take the job very seriously, so when you're in my class, I want to make sure that you are getting the best education that one can give you. And I try to be redundant. This way here, it does sink in. By doing things over and over and over again as part of the memory class that we work with, it does sink in. And so by the end of my class, and this is the good thing about the 8-week class compared to a 3-week class. A 3-week class is a crash course, and you get to learn everything just one time. And if you missed it, then you missed it. And that's the problem with the 3-week class. It's designed to be just a prep class. But my 8-week course is designed to not only help you pass the exam, but to teach you how to run a real estate business. And then who knows, you might be like Howard, joining my brokerage, or I'll teach you how to interview brokers so that they don't take advantage of you in the very beginning, because that will happen, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of brokers know that you're a brand new agent, and they're going to use that against you in their negotiating because they're seasoned negotiator and you're just starting out. I see a lot of agents start out at 50-50 commission because they didn't know there was anything other than that. And again, interview 2 or 3 brokers, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about this in the class. You don't have to work for a broker. You can work for a Fortune 500 company. You can work for a franchise. You can work for a developer. You can work for an investor. You could be property management. So there are a lot of avenues and a lot of sources of income that you can generate with that real estate license. Howard, how did it feel to be licensed, to be Agent Ashton? How did that feel when you passed that exam?
It was exciting. Yeah. I mean, and liberating. This is something I've been trying to do for a long time. So when I finally passed the exam, I was very excited and proud. It's not easy, but it is doable. I mean, there are people practicing real estate, and they all did it the same way. You have to learn this stuff. You have to take the exam. You have to pass it. It's not easy though. And so when you actually learn the information, it's knowledge is power, and it does feel empowering when you pass that exam. You're licensed now, and then just like I feel like that feeling you get sometimes. I don't do it too much. My wife will occasionally buy a lottery ticket, and it's that feeling right before before you actually know you lost. Right. You're thinking, oh, like all that potential, except for this is real. You have to, if you go to I had a salary job, and I moved from that. I'm focused completely on real estate. It was a good salary job. It was stable, but you have to work anywhere you go. If you're going to do real estate, you have to work if you're going to make money. Even if you have a salary job or an hourly job, if you don't work, they're going to fire you. You have to work either way. The upside is just the work to what you're going to get in return for it is just, I think there's a lot more potential there with real estate. And yeah, it felt great, and just having the information, you can become an asset to people, and you can help people. So, yeah.
And a lot of people are leaving the workforce because they don't want to do the 40-hour work week. They don't want to be somebody else's puppet. They don't want to be dictated that they have to take a vaccine or they're fired. They have to do this or they're fired. And so a lot of people are gravitating away from the workforce, and they want to do in-house. They want to be at home working from home. So having a Zoom platform, I run 2 companies on Zoom. I run my school on Zoom, and I run my real estate business, a lot of it on Zoom. And so understanding that you can incorporate and you can run your whole real estate business on Zoom. Let's just say that Howard's a client, wants to buy a property, wants to sell a property. Look how easy it is for me and Howard to communicate with each other, because it's a picture telephone now. That's the only difference that Zoom is. It's a video telephone call. So now we can see each other while talking to each other. And Zoom is a great platform. I run 2 companies on Zoom. I make a good amount of income compensation for that. And so once I teach you how to incorporate Zoom into your real estate business, some businesses out there, ladies and gentlemen, there is no real estate office. So you'll see a lot of real estate companies out there with just letters, XYZ, ABC, and so forth. And those letter brokerage out there, franchises for the most part, are live streaming, virtual classes where you don't even actually have a real estate office to go to, because they're really designing everything, especially with the workforce, wanting to get away from that 40-hour work week, wanting to work when they want to work. This is perfect for those individuals who only want to work 10 hours, 20 hours a week and make good income and not have to leave the house, especially if you're a stay-at-home parent and you have to be home with the children and you need to make money as well. This is a very good combination to be at home with the children and still work as well. I even have students that are in my class with the kids running around in the background. I don't understand how they do it. You got to give it to parents. They can multitask. They can do all this. They're desensitized to the chaos of the children. As a matter of fact, they need that chaos in their life because they're parents. And so they have to have that. But that's the great thing about the Zoom platform and the real estate arena. You can put these 2 together, Zoom and real estate, and run a successful real estate business without even leaving the house, especially with the technology and the electronic signature. We have UTA, the Uniform Electronic Act, and we have e-sign. You ever sign a keypad at Rite Aid? Does it ever look like your signature? But it is a legal signature And that makes the real estate business much, much easier. We can email everything for signatures. We don't even have to be there. We do have to explain the paperwork that everybody's signing, but we don't have to be there. So the world is a lot more streamlined. And because of Zoom and because of the real estate arena, you can really make a lot of money and stay local. All right. I have agents who are out in Harrisburg. I have one agent that's going to be coming and he's in Pittsburgh. They can still be with my brokerage through our live streaming platform each and every week, so that distance does not become a problem. I know a lot of agents who are in Pittsburgh, but they can't find a local school. There's not a local school in Pittsburgh to go to. In Erie, there's not a lot of local schools. And so having a live stream platform where we teach the state exam and the state practice from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia, from Scranton to Erie, and all points in between, Zoom makes it all happen. Now we can be a state class rather than a local class. Before Zoom, before the pandemic, we weren't allowed to do this class by a live streaming platform. How is a person in Harrisburg going to come to my class in Philadelphia? How is a person in Pittsburgh going to come to my class in Philadelphia? So you were really localized with the school back then. But now that we have Zoom, now we're opened up to the entire state. And now you can expand your real estate business much more further than just your local area. All right. I told you, sold a property to a woman in China. She never stepped foot on this continent. We had to do a lot of tax things because of foreign exchange. We had to do a currency change. But again, our system is global these days, which is not just a local market anymore. And so understanding the modern technology, and this is why I force my agents to understand, and I'm still giving old school to you. We're still doing the old websites, all right? We're not doing the apps yet. I didn't even get you into the apps yet. So we're still doing the websites. We're still doing social media, the 800 numbers, which you don't see a lot of agents do that anymore. So bring the past back into the day and use these things again. I see a lot of agents that did away with the 800 numbers. That was foolish. The 800 numbers are an excellent source. People would love to hear a free recording of the property and so forth, especially on the road. They can't drive and watch a video or watch a website, but they can hear a free message, and this will give you more information about the property. And that's what we are. We're in the service industry. We have to make sure that we offer a service that's acceptable to everybody. So are you excited getting into the real estate business? What are you planning? Do you have your market, or what's your...
Oh, yeah, I'm pumped. I'm very excited. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a big change, but I think the potential is almost limitless, and it's just a matter of, it's getting past that wall of that, the insecurity that comes with working all commission. But I've done it before, and I did car sales, and I realized it is no different. It's no different than if you're working for now. The only difference is if you hustle, you will make a lot of money. And I realized, hey, the next logical step from car sales, the work to reward was great. Real estate, I think it's even more. It's just putting the work in and learning and actually, I'm very excited. I already have a few people I'm talking with, and it's motivating just in the fact where, hey, you're helping people make the biggest decision they may ever make. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. And you're taking that journey with them. It's fun. I always liked cars, so selling cars was fun. Who doesn't like going in and checking out and seeing different houses? I mean, HGTV and the different shows on Netflix about just looking and viewing houses. It's fun. You're working with people, and then the money potential is just, it's unbelievable. So I am very, very excited. A little nervous, but I know this is I'm making the best decision. I've had this on my mind for years, and I wouldn't have been able to make it possible if it wasn't for the telecommuting aspect of it. And now that it's here, it's done. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm licensed. I'm making it happen, and I'm just trying to get that snowball effect going. Start fill the pipeline, we used to say, right? Develop some leads to where I'm having too many people, which is a good problem to have. You get people calling. And you show houses, and before you know it, the money starts rolling in. I know friends of mine, they're not necessarily in this area anymore. I know one in California and another friend of mine in South Carolina that been agents for a few years now, and I am blown away at how much money they're making. I mean, there's a lot of money potential out there.
No, there really is.
Very exciting.
Yeah, and it really is. Howard, why don't you tell everybody your full name, your brokerage, and give them your telephone number?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Howard Ashton. I'm with IS Realty. My number is 215-776-5378. And I am going to be working in the central and lower Bucks County areas.
Tell everybody your number again.
215-776-5378.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, get to know Howard. He's making his first appearance on my show, ladies and gentlemen, but you're going to see that pretty mug, and you're going to see this smile, and you're going to see a lot of them, especially if you're in the Bucks County area. I believe that's where Howard's probably going to get started, and we'll see where he goes from there. Yes, if you're in the Bucks County area, get used to it. Get ready to expect Howard Ashton. And again, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for hands-on service, somebody that's willing to learn and do the business and give you the full representation that you need, now's the time to grab Howard services before everybody else does. And now Howard, that will come one day where Howard's going to have assistant. He's going to have so many clients that he's going to have assistant. And now your wife's thinking about getting into the business. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're going to kind of make it a team effort here. Neither one of us, I told her it's one of the reasons I'm focused on this now. I'm as you get older, and now we have a kid on the way, and the idea of being denied a day off to watch my kid at a soccer game, or somebody telling me when I have to take a lunch break, things like that, it really starts to make you think. So the amount of control you have in your life doing something like this is huge. So yeah, my wife's going to be probably kind of sitting in on some of these classes coming up, and just make sure she can make sure it's something she wants to get into. And then, yeah, she's going to be coming on board with us. She's right here. This is her. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations. Very good. Yeah.
That's my wife, Veronica.
Yeah. Veronica was actually my first contact before I met you. I thought Veronica was signing up for my class. And so, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Veronica in the class, and I'm looking forward to the dynasty of the Ashton Brokerage. I can see it now down the line. All right. So the Ashton Brokerage, and these guys will own Bucks County in the future. And so you already have that hustle. I love it. You guys have that team operation. You already know sales. And so that's going to be really good for you. And having Veronica and you working, it'll be a good management, especially if you're out showing properties and one's doing paperwork or vice versa. It's great to have a little team operation going there.
She's got the intelligence side of it. I have the going out and doing side of it. Well, she's really got both, but yeah, I've got the one, so I can do that for her.
Well, I want to thank Veronica for being a guest on my show as well. Veronica being a guest on the show as well. And so everybody, Veronica will be a future agent. Howard is now an agent. He took this class that you guys are thinking about. Veronica will hopefully someday be in the class as well. And you're looking at a team operation, ladies and gentlemen, in the makings, in the beginning stages of where it all started. So I'm very happy to be with this journey with you both. I'm glad that it was there for your schooling and your education. And I'm glad that I'm there for your beginning of your enterprise that you guys are building up. And someday, 3 years, 4 years, we're going to look back and we're going to be smiling and laughing. And say,
we're going to make a lot of money together. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So great. Howard, thank you very much for taking the time to be on the show.
Happy to.
Students, a little enterprise, a little, something to understand, to see what somebody else went through and what to expect. And so thank you very much for being a great student. Thank you very much for being a great real estate agent. Thank you very much for big time to be on my show. And I'm glad to say that when you do that long resume, I'll be the very first live streaming show that you attended. And
yeah.
You never know where the future lies. You never know what opportunities are opening up for you. So I love that part of the journey. So Howard, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, Warren.
I'm looking forward to working with you, and we'll be seeing each other very soon.
Yeah, I'll probably be talking to you tomorrow when I get those posts over to you.
I'm looking very forward to it.
Take care, Warren.
Thank you again. Veronica, thank you very much. Enjoy it. Have a good night.
See ya.
All right, then. Thank you again. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So this could be you, ladies and gentlemen. You're only 75 hours away from getting your real estate license. Look how Howard feels. He's excited. He's proud of that moment, ladies and gentlemen. That's an accomplishment. That is a goal that was achieved. and it wasn't easy. All right. Howard almost gave up a couple times in his younger days, but as they got older and wiser, he realized that having that real estate license will be his golden ticket in life. And wait do you see how it will pay off for him down the line, and how it will pay off for you as well, ladies and gentlemen. So may I encourage you to invest in yourself, as I always do. I have one class remaining for 2022. October 25th, ladies and gentlemen. October 25th is my last class this year, and I won't have another class until February of next year. A lot of work that has to be done, and so have to do what I have to do, so much time in a year. So October 25th is my last class. I want to encourage you to sign up, learn the things that I'm going to teach you, learn real estate, learn what you can and cannot do so that you don't get suckered out of your money with investment techniques that might not be legal, and learn what you can learn when you can learn it. This is a live streaming class, ladies and gentlemen. So you can be sitting in your living room, your bedroom, your house, your kitchen, your work, learning real estate. And you can come back to this class over and over and over again, free of charge after you enroll in the class. Once you enroll, you never have to do it again. It's $299 for one class, which is real estate practice, and it's $299 for the other class, which is fundamentals. And I broke it up. It's 4 weeks for one class, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, for either the morning class or the evening class. And then the following month, you'll make another payment of $299 for the last class, because it's two classes, real estate practice, real estate fundamental. So the entire charge is $598 for the class. But I broke it out that you only need $299 to get started, and I'll give you all your material. And then the following month, $299. If you're not happy with what you're learning and what you're experiencing, then you don't have to make the investment on the $299 on the other class. So now you only invested $299 to find out this might not be for you, rather than investing the whole $598 to find out it might not be the right class for you. So I try to do it this way, ladies and gentlemen, to make it a little easier for you financially to get started. You only need $299. My last class starts October 25th. You need to be signed up by October 24th. I have one more free class that I'll be running, and that'll be next Monday. And then that'll be my last free class that I'll be running. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a YouTube channel for me. This is live streaming on many different platforms. And I run this class as a prep for those who are doing research to figure out if this is going to be the right class for them. Since I'm going to be running my last class October 25th, I won't be running these prep classes until January of next year, because our next class will be February of next year. So if you want to start 2023, you want to have a different direction, ladies and gentlemen, may I encourage you to make the $299 investment in yourself. Don't waste it in the casino. Don't spend it on a bag or materialistic things. Spend it on an education, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to give you an income, the biggest income, the best income you've ever had in your entire life. So if you're looking for a change of lifestyle, if you're ready to buy the things that you always dreamed, if you're ready to have the income that you always wanted, ladies and gentlemen, this is the beginning. This is your decision making. You need to decide right now if this is what you want to do. Ladies and gentlemen, they're telling me my time is up. So onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. You heard from one of my students, and he's very proud of where he's going. I want you to be very proud. onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. You can call me directly, 267-972-1084, 267-972-1084. If you're looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, call me. If you're looking to get a real estate license, you call me. I can make it all happen in the real estate arena. Ladies and gentlemen, be safe, be healthy, be happy, God willing. I'll see everybody one more time next Monday, and I hope to see you in my class. And I'm looking forward to making you a licensed real estate professional for 2022, going into 2023. Be safe, be healthy, be happy.